ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, while I adjust the camera one last time. You know it's Wednesday, so you know what time it is. It's the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast. And as tradition, I'm that dude with the beard. He's Mr. KC from the A13. And we here at you live, baby. We got another one. Another week of NFL action. Week 14. And week 13 ended a couple games on a wild note. Goodness gracious, almost got gashed a little bit with the picks here. A lot of upsets, you could say, in certain situations. Mr. KC, what's going on, my G?
Oh, we're getting excited about this week 14. It's wild to say we're already talking week 14. It feels like week 7 to me. You know what I mean? The season is getting to that point, though. It was starting to run out of time. You got to get these dubs on the board for all these teams.
Yeah, December is pretty much the most crucial month in all football, dang there. So it's really the time to show whether you're gonna have it to get to these offs and how sustainable you can be in these offs. So it's exciting to see here. A lot of potential matchups that are in the air here. A lot of seeding expectations that are in the air, but we'll get into more of that here. Anything you want to say about Week 13 before we dive into these Week 14 picks, Mr. Casey?
Oh, it was a pretty solid week. There wasn't too many games that we missed on, so I was pretty excited about that. We finished with a pretty strong week, and anytime you can do that, I'll take it. Only missed a couple little games there.
Yeah, only a few, but goodness gracious, you would wanted that Chiefs ones back for sure. But since we're here and we're talking about it, it's almost what I've been saying for the last few weeks. We got to talk about Jordan Love, man. We got to
Oof.
talk about your deep distaste for him. And now that he's beat three of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, I think it's just about time that you put some respect on that man's name at this point.
We're not afraid to eat crow on this program. On this show, we like to admit when we're wrong. And here I am today saying Jordan Love ended up passing the Mahomes test. I've long shouted it. You're not a legitimate quarterback if you can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And Jordan Love did it. Look, he started out the season strong. I was like, dang, he proved me wrong then. And then he had a slump. He had a pretty solid little slump there. And I started getting a little excited, a little lick my chops kind of action. A little told you so. I started yelling, told you so. Look what I did. Look what I did. And then all of a sudden, here we are, Jordan Love going on a run, doing
Man.
that I told you so right back at me.
Yeah, he's definitely on a good run. He's ripping off wins, keeping his team viable, keeping them hopefully playoff alive here. Like I said, we talked about it before the season. Like I said the jury was out on Jordan Love. Like I said, I had this was the season I needed to see from him to make my determination. So I just want to pat myself a little bit for just leaving the light on for him. But goodness gracious, man, we're gonna see how far he can take this thing. Cause like I said, there's not too many dudes in the NFC who's stepping up. We gotta have
Mm.
somebody else.
And the North is somewhat kind of open. The Lions haven't just ran away with it or nothing. So the potential is somewhat still there. And it would be pretty wild if the Packers ended up winning the North out there, retaining that King of the North title, stealing it from the Vikings.
Yeah, no, it would be a shocker, but at the same time, I mean the Lions. You lose three more games, and pretty much they're right there. You've already lost to Green Bay, so it's not like they can't beat you. Jordan Love said in the press conference they got your number. He believes he knows they can beat Detroit. So then you'll be playing a quarterback who's full of belief and knowing that he can beat you. So it's just a different beast. I like to see how it's shaping up. I hate to see that my boy Android 17 went down with a minor malfunction. Hopefully they get that thing right, get the parts replaced, and get that Android back out there. But we've seen a couple injuries, and we were decimated, dude, by injuries on Sunday. It was almost unfair. Like
Oof.
as many people as we lost, and how we lost them so quick. But that's football. Next man up is just a part of the game. Uh, must win for the Chiefs this weekend. We'll talk about that later too. That's my opinion so far.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a wild week if the Cardinals are winning. That's it tells you. And I've got that Kyler Murray fighting for his job mentality. He really wants to get the Cardinals to like number 4, number 5, get them out of that quarterback early draft ability.
Right.
It's job
So
security.
we're in receiver territory.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, look, we need to look elsewhere besides quarterback because they've already been taken. Like, that's what Jordan Love or Kyler Murray really wants to be.
Right. In that perfect position to where he can like, hey, I got a little leverage for my job. Please let me keep it. So so hey, we'll see. I guess we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into the Week 14 picks of the NFL. Let's just go ahead and get on into the action. And as tradition, year 2 in this show, we have the Jeff Bezos Bowl, Thursday night prime time slamma jamma. You got you got the considerably tanked New England Patriots versus the still scrappy and playoff contender, I would say, or at least hopeful for now. We have to see about the injury. Kenny Pickett's Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin. Um, Honestly, injury or no, I'm still going to pick the Steelers to win this game, even with Mitch Trubisky. Because New England they don't have anybody who's playing quarterback. I don't know what's going on out there. Like I said, it's full on tank season. The Steelers need this win so they can keep fighting for the title of King of the North, and like I said, to keep a playoff seed alive. So if you want to get into the offs, you got to beat these Patriots.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, if you think about it, the Patriots, this is a ugly, typical primetime game, right? Both of these teams are just completely, I hate to say it, but they're trash. This is a trash
Yeah.
game. And it's wild to say that about a Steelers team because let's be honest, there's not a drastic drop off between KP and Trubisky. It's not light years apart. So this
No.
is really the same Steelers team that has been winning. Like
Well, the only thing I'll say about that is Kenny Pickett does have that ability to win late. I've never seen that from Trubisky. So hopefully if they can get ahead early and the defense can hold on, it'll be a good game for Mitch. But goodness gracious.
yeah, this is a surprisingly wildly ugly game. Like I don't know how this has got to be in contention of maybe one of the worst games of the year. Like who wants that, especially for like a prime time spot. I'm surprised they need to start getting like a flexibility in their contract or something. Like this
Flex
is
game
the
alert.
yeah, because you got to imagine that it's going to be rough to convince people to stay up late for that game.
Yeah, even on a Thursday when nothing's happening. No,
Mm,
I understand. At the end of the day, though, I'll probably skim through it. Uh, yeah, because these are two teams I used to be really high on. I'm still high on the Steelers. They still have a shot, but New
yeah,
England's just let you down so much. You just almost not even want to watch to see what happens. So we'll take a gander at it. But at the end of the day, for the pick's sake, I'm definitely going Steelers, and I'm pretty much sure you're going Steelers too.
yeah. I'm going Steelers, but I don't think it's impossible for the Patriots to actually win this game.
No, it's definitely not impossible. It's definitely on the table, but like I said, they're in the tank mode. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, if I'm
Goodness.
taking Zappy or Trubisky, I'm probably still leaning Trubisky. Like if we're
Yes.
just gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Ugh,
because I'm just right
Mac
between yeah,
Jones.
dude. Thank you.
Mm.
Anywho, we're gonna move on to the next game. here on the slate here. It's going to start off our Sunday games, and it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Mr. KC, regale us, please.
Give me Tampa Bay. Listen, this team is feisty. Baker Mayfield is out here being the mediocre quarterback that he can be, and you got that monster Mike Evans being his 10th 1,000 yard secret quiet Hall of Fame. Never just completely stood out, but just the above average consistency is something that you can't deny. And that defense for Tampa is still pretty legit. So give me Tampa over the Falcons. I do believe preseason I did pick the Falcons to win this game, and it's going to be a tough one. But with the quarterback situation is better in Tampa than Atlanta.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but at the same time, Atlanta wins this game because they're actually trying to win the South and they're already leading it, and this is what's going to keep them leading the game. This is where we differ. I got the Falcons winning this game, and I think they win it not handily, but probably by at least 10. I would
Oof.
think.
Oh, we here for these bowl ones, folks. And that's how different we are on this one. I'd give the Tampa, a nice little 3-point spread, but obviously he thinks it's the other way, and a 10-point differential there. So it'll be a game for sure.
Oh yeah, I think so. Here, I think Atlanta just got a little bit more to play for, because Tampa Bay, no one really picked them to make the playoffs, and I still don't expect them to be there. So at least
Mm.
Atlanta was a playoff contender.
Yeah,
So there's that.
I'll pick them to win, but I'm not gonna leap out and say playoffs just right here.
Not
Just
yet.
yeah, bold, not crazy.
Right. Next game we got on the slate here, which is a game I think is going to be pretty good. We have the Rams versus the Ravens. And honestly, if you're looking at these matchups, dude, I kind of like the Rams in this game. They're another team who's fighting for playoff berth, who's sneaky good and unexpectedly tougher than most teams expect, most teams prepare for. Um, I think the Ravens are going to always do what the Ravens do. They get hot, they get to a good spot, but then they lose games that they should win. And this is going to be that situation for them this weekend, especially because the way the AFC seeding is sitting. There's going to be shakeups all the way until the end, and this is going to be one of them. Give me the Rams over the Ravens.
This one is a super funky one for me because I'm gonna pick the Ravens as my official pick, but I might just put a little money on the Rams to win this game. Like, because this
Good for
is
you.
one of those. You got the Rams are an underrated team this year. They're really starting to put it together. They've got great young wide receiver that I can't pronounce his name, and
Tua.
I'm not gonna butcher
Tua.
it. Yeah, but exactly.
Or Pacwa.
Eh,
Something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. But shout out to him. I'll give him some flowers. Like the dude's a beast, and I think the Ravens still just need this game. Like they know where they're at, and they're still a playoff team. They're a very legitimate team out there. So I'm going to stick with the Ravens as the powerhouse, but I'm not going to bet on the Ravens, and I might just slip a little unit on the Rams, depending on what the odds are looking like.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Like I said, I think the Rams steal this one. Speaking of another game that's had potential to be lackluster, but may be pretty decent here, just because of the matchup. We have the Lions versus the Bears. And I'm kind of indifferent. This game is funky to me because I'm still a firm believer that the Lions really don't have it. And then the Bears seem to always win games that they should lose. And so I'm thinking the Bears might beat the Lions this week. Well, what
Oof.
could be crazier, especially after what we've seen the last few weeks?
It's
Like,
not
what's so
crazy.
crazy about it?
The
Like,
Bears have
yeah.
pulled an upset a couple times.
And I honestly think this is another one this weekend. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I'm gonna do it. I think the Lions fall to 9-4. They start looking at things and seeing what's going on and happening and everything. The Bears get a little bit more confident, waiting for next year to come around to get one last playmaker to make them really viable. I'm going with the Bears, Mr. Casey.
Being a safe man again tonight, I'm sticking with the Lions. I think they play every game. Every game is a one-score game for the Lions. They just refuse to blow out any team. No comfortable wins, some heartbreaking losses, your typical Lions disappointment when they do lose, and the unexpected when they do win, pretty much. I think the Lions are the safer pick here, and I'm going to go with the Lions because of that. I like their playmakers more too. Amon St. Brown is a monster, and Williams might be turning the corner and starting to really come into that highly touted first round draft wide receiver talent that he really should be, and a guy that I wanted the Chiefs to go after pretty much.
Right. Could have, but the incapabilities of Brett Veach to trade up for certain picks is just beyond me. Like I said, shout out to Glenn Dorsey for getting us Pat Mahomes, because if he wouldn't pull the trigger, we know it probably wouldn't have happened. So,
There's
yeah,
truth to
dude,
that too.
I feel you on that. The KU help system could have done wonders for Jameson Williams, and he could have been out here being a receiver that we need today. So, next game, let's move on before the heartbreak settles in about that pick. We have the Colts versus the Bengals, which I think is going to be a runaway win for the Colts if I got to just dive right into it. The Bengals got lucky. Like I said, that's how you know it was a wild weekend. But these Colts are rolling, dude. Winning last minute games. Uncle Rico is showing like, hey man, I can still ball. I can still throw that football quarter mile, looking to pull in, take the steak off his plate, throw it, hit him right in the face. I'm going with the Colts.
I mean, this is a suddenly a tougher game than I thought it would be when you're talking about a team without Joe Burrows. Like that dude Browning was showing he's an extraordinarily, at least proficient quarterback. I'm actually going to go Cincinnati on this one. I wanted to go Brown or the Colts for it, but I mean, we could see a fall off, and that it would make sense because that performance was just about as good as it can actually get for a rookie guy stepping in, filling in. So give me Cincinnati this week. They might, they're not in it, but they're going to win another game.
Yeah, but I don't think this is going to be the game they do. But we'll see here. I'm almost rooting for them, but I don't think this is the one here. Um, Moving on here to another game here that should have been tough. Both starting quarterbacks are gone, so we'll see backup action. We'll see the return of what's the boy's name? Joseph Flacco.
Mm.
Once again, versus who's ever backing up the Princess Promised. I didn't even look to see who is backing
Yeah, I
this.
don't know the backup for
And
the
I
Jags.
forgot. So, folks, if you bear with me a moment here, I'm gonna find out real quick.
Yeah, we do need to know. This is important information, folks, because it's hard to give an accurate prediction if it does make it slightly dependent on the quarterback, and it makes it a funky one. It's ugly
In the
that we're watching
searches. Okay.
backup quarterback action.
Yeah, you're not lying. So it looks like the backup quarterback for the Princess Promise is C.J. Beathard. And that's a man who's 30 years old that I've never even heard of. Apparently,
He's
he's been in San Fran. He's a
yeah,
bit of a journeyman.
he's a journeyman. I've heard of him. Uh, sheesh.
And
This
dang, I hate to do it. I hate to do it. But I think the Jags lose this game.
Yeah, I'm going with that too. Look, Joe Flacco is just playing like watching him throw, he's not a good quarterback, but he's playing like I was on the couch and this is my last chance. Like he is just kind of throwing it around, which does make you a little nervous because he's not good at doing that. But the Jags don't have a lot going on without Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. You kind of revert back to that typical Jags team where you got a bunch of first round, highly routed players and no quarterback.
Yeah, and if the Browns win, this will move both of those teams to 8-5, well in playoff contention, and almost move the Colts if they beat the Bengals to the 8-5 position. So we got to see how the split ends there. The South is turning up.
Heating up, man. And the Texans are right there. The
Yeah,
Texans they ain't playing either.
no, that's what I'm saying. They all pretty much got the same record. So that's
Mm,
what I said, man. This thing is turning up. I'm gonna go with Cleveland though. I gotta do it. I hate to do it. If the
no.
Prince was playing, there'd be no way I'd pick the Browns. And I think y'all know it, family. Y'all know y'all watch. Y'all know I would never do it. Never will
This
pick Cleveland. And I
this is a
almost want an
rare.
asterisk on this one so it don't hold against the record if Mr. KC will allow it, because this is a deep distaste for me. I hate to even say it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I don't think we've ever both picked the Browns the same week until this episode here today. We made it to episode 67 before the Browns were the consensus pick. And it's wild it's against the Jags, to be honest with you. So
Man,
hopefully,
it's unbelievable.
Jags, make us believers again, please. Please.
Please beat these Browns. Please beat these Browns. Because I really want you to. On my soul. I can't see it any other way. But,
Yeah.
God,
But I'm not going to take an L for no reason on my record. All right, look here.
not. No. Next game we got on the slate here. We got the Panthers versus the New Orleans Saints here. And this is going to be another rare occasion because for some reason in my spirit, I feel like we're both going to pick the Panthers. And this is something that I wouldn't normally do because they're so trash. But the Saints are terrible. Like, the Panthers have the worst record between the two. But how do they look better when they play? Like, do you see what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, it's
I'm
just.
going.
Oh,
I'm going Saints just because I refuse. I've picked Carolina Panthers like 3 times, and I'm pretty sure I lost
this is
two
the
of them
week
at
you should have
least.
picked them.
Yeah, no, this is the week I'm glad I stopped picking them. I'm not doing that. I'm not going down that road no more. These
I'm
Panthers are
telling you.
trash. This is a junk. Everything you start looking at that roster, man, and it's just junk all around. You got one good wide receiver, and the rest is trash. Like the
It sounds like the
quarterback is
Saints. You got one good
look.
wide
There's not.
receiver and the
Yeah,
rest is trash.
it
You got
is. It's just
your running back
Olave.
is your running back is only decent now because of all the stuff he done been through. So much off the field is affecting his own field.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the running back that plays quarterback sometimes.
Oh,
Jeez.
you talking about Taysom? That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I
Your
got
best
scared there
weapon is
for a
a Swiss
minute.
Army knife who can't win games really.
Yeah.
So that's why you keep. That's why you had to call Derek Carr, because if Taysom Hill really had it, he'd be starting.
Mm. Yeah, and it's just I don't know why we spend this much time talking about this particular game.
Let's
This
move
game
on,
is
bro. Like I said,
trash. Yeah, let's move on. Look, y'all don't even deserve our
oh my
audience's
goodness.
time or effort. Like y'all put in a little more effort, we'll put in more effort too.
And we can save time probably on this next pick. I'll announce the teams and let's just see how the energy works. Let's do a bold predictions, natural moment like how we do sometimes where you just be like, on to the next. We got the Texans versus the Jets. And I'm confident in saying that we both
Mm.
know the Texans are going to win this game. And I don't even think we need to give reasons. But unless you want it, hey, it's up
I
to you, sir.
I I I actually do just and the only reason I want to expand on this is so we can really take a moment to appreciate what the Texans are doing this season. Look, Aaron Rodgers trying to make his comeback for the Jets for no reason at all. You're not in position to do anything. Go get your ayahuasca, bro. It's over.
Yeah,
The
time to get
the
out.
don't have no quarterback. They got
But he might have
everything.
already got the one. He might already be high. He think he coming back. So I think he done already picked the pack up, Mr. KC. He done already grabbed the pack.
There was some people saying he faked an injury. Look, like it's
That's highly plausible, dude. He don't want to play Pat, and that's a part of it. But
mm,
he be dodging. He's a dodger, dude. I really do, because when he got to play certain primetime quarterbacks, he do mysteriously fall ill, or he's suffered a sprain in practice, or I
my
don't know. He
pinky.
pick his spots pretty good.
Right.
Remind me
Yeah.
of Manny Pacquiao. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. they that ain't we just spin facts out here, folks. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, it's wild to see.
yeah. So the next one we got on the list here, which could have been a garbage barn burner, but it might actually turn out to be a pretty competitive game. We got the Vikings versus the Raiders. And the only reason why I'm not going to pick Vegas is because I swore to myself that I will not do it for the rest of the season, and I'm a man of my word. Even though I really think they could win this game and probably will. But I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to go with Dobbs in that offense. And I think they get it done versus the Raiders, but I think the Raiders give them a hard game. What you got, Mr. KC?
All that hate that I had on Jordan Love probably should be applied to Dobbs because this dude really got me super hyped on him for no absolute reason at all. One game, this old one hit wonder motherfucker. Oh, excuse me. It's just golly. He did it in Arizona, got that nice little one win, and then fell on his face. We see him do it with the Vikings, and he fell on his face. And here I am again, throwing my wild card out, hoping Dobbs wins. I'm gonna go the Vikings just because I hate the Raiders. Like we'll call it a prejudice pick. I don't care. Like it's just is what it is. So give the
So,
Vikings. Hopefully they can do me
hey,
a favor.
hey, Justin Jefferson is back.
I mean that helps, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I'm gonna say that should help. That should help transition. It should help ease it in just a little bit. What they say, just grease the wheels a little bit. Just
They need him.
it's
They, they need him. They've
oh
been
for
missing him.
sure.
Yeah, all of a
Oh,
sudden they're missing Kirk a smidge too. Everybody was,
yeah.
oh, we
Oh
found the
yeah.
replacement. We found the replacement. All of a sudden it's, well, I'm
Yeah.
not saying you don't need to move on from Kirk, but you need to keep shopping. Like,
Dude,
don't.
I keep telling there's nobody to move on to. Unless, like I said, unless you
You
unless you
you need a.
somehow in the Caleb Williams hunt, I don't even see another quarterback coming out this year that you would even want to go get. Uh, yeah, dude.
And they're not in the
Anyway,
position to get anybody. So,
thank you. Thank you. So y'all need to go ahead and do what we know you need to do. Get you another left tackle, solidify that line, and keep Kirk Cousins alive, and go ahead and get it going, and extend Kirk Cousins, obviously.
oh, that's not what I'm
Obviously,
doing. I'm still moving on. I mean, trash with, trash without. Might as well go
trash
when you're in
with
doubt.
you. Just,
Yeah, I'm not a Kirk
Look, you see,
Cousins
that's the
believer.
thing. See, and folks, this is why Mr. KC is not the GM out there in Minnesota, because he said trash with trash with. Like Kirk Cousins got better numbers than most
Look,
quarterbacks,
it
except
it
for two. Except for two people.
look, it is disrespectful to call him trash. All right.
Man,
He
trash.
is a
Come on.
serviceable
He's
quarterback.
better than Josh Allen.
No, no, I'm not
No,
going there. No,
no.
he's right there with him. He's a
How? What the
potato,
stats?
potato,
We've
potato.
been down this road. The stats don't support it, and uh, Kirk Cousins is not a roller coaster quarterback. He's never been. He reels off straight wins, and then they'll lose a game or two, and then it's back to straight wins. Like
Yeah,
what?
well,
Kirk
he's
Cousins?
he's not a roller coaster quarterback because roller coaster quarterback would suggest there's a peak somewhere, and I
Yeah,
don't
just
ever
like
see him.
when he peaked and completed the greatest comeback in NFL history on the Colts. There's peak moments, and then it stays up there. You see what I'm saying? Because if that was Josh Allen, he would have did that. They'd have lost 7 straight after that, as tradition.
Man,
Kirk Cousins ain't they two different calls. Kirk Cousins is a winner. Josh Allen ain't done nothing. Ain't been in the conversation or nothing. Ain't even got more playoff wins than Kirk Cousins. So what are we talking about?
he don't. I have trouble
No.
believing that. I have trouble believing that one.
How do you
We,
have
we
trouble believing? The first 2 years of his career, he never even been to the playoffs. We talk about it all the time about Tyrod. Come on, Mr. K. I know you don't like Kirk Cousins, but let's not divulge. Let's
I'm
not
trying to. I'm
skew the
just trying to.
facts.
I'm like trying to rack my head when I seen Kirk Cousins win a playoff game. Like I'm struggling remembering him getting one. Like I just don't remember Kirk Thuggins being like, yeah, I want to. I remember him losing. I remember him losing last season to the Giants in the playoffs. The Giants had no business in the playoffs, obviously, according to this season.
So, like I said, we're not going to obscure the facts here. I'm going to let you just have a little time to boil that down and think it over. Um, Josh Allen is terrible. Like I said,
I'm
his
not saying
greatest
he's
playoff
good.
performance is a loss. And Kirk Cousins done been. Matter of fact, didn't they go to the divisional round? Like he ain't even been to the division. I'm done talking about Josh Allen.
I
This
don't
is the
think.
usual thing. This is the usual thing. So Josh Allen is better than Kirk. So Kirk Cousins is not a top 10
No,
quarterback because
I'm
we've
not
already.
saying
Is Josh Allen a
he's.
top 10 quarterback then?
Yeah, they're both fringe. They're both fringe.
No. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
they're
move
both fringe. They're
on.
both in the fringe
No,
top
they're
10.
not. They're in
They're
your
right in that.
fringe. They're in your
Yeah, I
fringe.
put.
Dak was fringe for you too. Is he in the top 10 now?
He's had a top 10 season this year. You got to call it like you see it.
Josh Allen having a top 10 season?
Maybe number 10. Number.
Look, folks, you see, even the world had to cut him out. What is this man talking about? Top 10 Josh Allen right now? Joe Burrow's not even playing, and he's still better than Josh Allen right now. I don't get it. I'm not understanding where he's getting this from, but we're gonna keep this thing rolling. I don't know what happened to him. The ether had to get rid of him, y'all. I'm sorry I'm making these camera adjustments. So the next game we got on the list here, now that we're diving back into reality here. We're out of the mist, we're out of the mucky waters. We got the Seattle Seahawks versus the 49ers. And this is a game where I think that if Seattle doesn't win, it just hurts their seeding a little bit more. But I think this is a game that they can ultimately win, folks. And Mr. Casey is back with us now that the universe had to regulate his thoughts.
It sure did.
Because even the universe knew, like, he's tripping. Cut him off.
They
So,
said you're calling him top 10s? Kick him out of here.
right. Josh Allen, huh? They finally heard me. No, he's drunk. He's been drinking. This ain't the bold drunk episode. Um, but I was telling the folks here, we was talking about Seattle versus the Niners. We know you're going San
Oof.
Fran out the
Yeah.
spirit of just because you love Brock Purdy. But I'm still going Seahawks on this. Like this is literally a must win for them. They have to win this game. Like I said, all for playoff seeding and everything. I got the Seahawks.
And I've got the Niners. And I hate to say it, but looking at the Seahawks schedule, man, playoffs might be a bold conversation, actually. Look, and I do want to make a contradiction to your previous statement about Brock Purdy, because this week has become the conversation of MVP. And while I am a proud supporter of the 49ers and believe they will make this Super Bowl, I will never believe that Brock Purdy is an MVP caliber quarterback or deserves the MVP this season. Look, we see what it looks like when he doesn't have his playmakers around him. He's not elevating a team. Look, he's a sufficient playmaker quarterback. He reminds me of Alex
Brandon
Smith.
Johnson.
He's
No,
Alex. Yeah, he's Alex
no.
Smith like. Very game manager. He's not gonna blow away. He,
Disrespectful.
he's
No
not
respect
gonna
for Alex.
he's not gonna give you your Pat Mahomes 18-second comeback or nothing like that. Like that's or 13 seconds. Like you don't that's not what I'm asking out of Brock Purdy. But what he can do perfectly well is hand the ball off to CMC. Like Christian McCaffrey. Look at him. Look, bam, handoff, bam, handoff. As long as Kittle and Debo and Ayuke or whatever his name is healthy, like, look, this is a very dangerous team. And Brock Purdy can manage it. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's good. And we need to stop the MVP candidate. Like, if we're talking about Brock Purdy MVP, we need to talk about Tyreek Hill MVP. Because if Brock Hill's the best quarterback in the league, you're giving him the MVP. Like, we need to talk about a non-quarterback winning the MVP this year. Because apparently this year's open.
These Niners are gonna lose. I mean, that was a lot of summary. I feel you,
Mm,
but the pumpkin's coming back around. I don't care how many tools and gadgets and flip flams and scallywhams they got. They had all that back in 19 and still got smacked. So I
mm.
mean, it don't make too much of a difference for me. Because if a team ain't got it, it just ain't got it. They just don't have it. Brock Purdy will forever be a question mark at quarterback until I see him do something in these offs against somebody who can actually play. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
beat the Giants. I mean, not the, I said the Giants. You beat the Cowboys. So what? You should have beat the Cow. It's the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is in the conversation for MVP. This is
mm,
anyway. So
that's just,
that lets you
yeah,
know.
that does let you know Tyreek Hill needs to be in that talk. He is at 2000. We need to have that talk.
Yeah. The next game we got, which is the first of the 325 slates, is the must-win game of the week for a certain franchise in the AFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs versus Roller Coaster Allen, Mr. KC's boy, top 10
Mm.
quarterback, the cream of the crop, right, Mr. KC? And
I
why
mean,
don't we
yeah.
just go ahead and do it? Bills up, right? The Bills gonna win this
Now,
weekend?
now
Bills up?
you know that's a bunch of
Bills up?
malarkey. Ain't no
Bills up?
bills up. Ain't no.
They just heard how passionate you was about it. You sure?
No, they're passionate. I'm not taking number 10 over number one. Like that ain't happening. Like that don't even make no mathematical sense. There's a 9 quarterback gap between what we're talking about here. And you're right. This is a must-win game for Kansas City. I expect Andy Reid to pull out all the stops in this game. We're going to see a different playbook this week, I believe.
This better be the dust off, let's run the Wasp playbook. Because if not, Kansas City falls to 8-5. They're still gonna win the AFC West, but their playoff season's tremendously hurt. They're gonna have to send Project Pat on the road if they want to get back to the Super Bowl. And we haven't seen it yet. Maybe it might be the most deadly playoff season of all time. Who knows? But comfort's sake, the Chiefs need to win this game. I'm going to pick them, and I almost picked them reluctantly because you lost the game last week. You shouldn't have lost. But like I said, shout out to Jordan Love and his emergence, showing that there's going to be another NFC quarterback sooner than later. But if you lose to these Bills, it's just almost unexcusable. A team who's well out the playoff hunt, in my opinion. A team who has no identity. A team who's just no, their identity is roller coaster. It's Six Flags. They've
Mm.
already peaked, and it's slum season. So I'm gonna pick Kansas City. Like I said, slightly reluctantly. I know, they got Josh Allen on the other side. And I just know how the world loves him. Even here in Bo British Sports Media in a certain location in Florida.
No, I just put respect where respect due. I'm trying to make an accurate assumption from my
I don't know
perspective.
what respect does Josh Allen do is what I've been trying to figure out.
Well, the problem is it's not just him. It's when you look past Josh Allen, there's a lot of terrible quarterback play in the NFL today.
Yeah, It sure is. It definitely is. So we should call a spade and put him in on that terrible brigade. That's where he belongs.
Slightly above. Even Philip Rivers was slightly above. You know.
Philip Rivers is better than Josh Allen. Like, I just anyway. Oh goodness.
I mean,
I
that's
don't
not
know
a
what it
lie,
is
but
about him that has this mystique on him that the world just loves him. I don't get it. Give him a Madden cover. Give him this. Give him
mm,
everything given to him, and he ain't earned not one bit. Talk about respect. He ain't done nothing to earn my respect. What respect? No awards, no nothing. Like, good night, dude. You lose to Mac Jones and them. Are you kidding me? Stop
right.
playing, man. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. Next game we got on the slate, and this is the garbage bowl of the week. We have the Denver Broncos versus the Chargers. And Denver has lost and been effectively, in my mind, moved out of playoff contention as well. And I think they're going to lose again this weekend to the Chargers. I think the Chargers will pick up one of these wins to effectively move them out of playoff contention in Denver to bring them right where the Chargers in, which is already at 7, lost out of contention. Um, my real answer is who cares, but I'm going to go with the Chargers. And even though I said I'll never pick them again, that rule is outweighed because, like I said, I will never pick the Denver Broncos. It's just something I will not do. So hopefully it ends in a tie.
This one's hard. The Chargers scored 6 points
And one.
against the Patriots. Like that was it. That's all you could do against the Patriots was 6 points.
But most importantly, they didn't give up any.
And that's why I'm going to pick them to beat the Broncos. Let's go. Look, if we're breaking the rule, let's break it. Look, if you're going to break the rule, I'm going to jump in the pond with you and go with
Right.
the Chargers for the upset. Look, it
It's
is
just one time
disgusting.
out.
It's disgusting that I just said the Chargers
Chargers
as
for
the
the
upset
upset.
over the Broncos. Like, what are you fire Staley based off that statement alone? That's all I'm gonna say. Like, geez, Louise, what are we doing here, Chargers? Uh, don't disappoint. Just quit. Just don't disappoint.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's the Broncos, dude. Beat these dudes, man. Just knock them off. Let's move on to which is probably going to be the game of the week. In all reality, we got NFC. Not even a rivalry because it seems like anytime this team plays a team that's a top tier team in the NFC, they lose. We got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm definitely picking the Eagles in this game because
Mm.
Dak has shown me that he can't beat the Eagles. So it's just like, what's the point of picking them if we know they're going to lose? So I got the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
This is really the game of the week. I mean, we got to crown it. Look, and it's NFC East divisional game that's just been 2 years in a row the dominant division in the NFC. All the roads go through it. Like even, I'm shouting out San Fran, but San Fran is still going to have to get past both of these teams in the NFC somehow, some way. If they dodge them one week, they'll be lucky, But this is a playoff game. Let's call it what it is. And both of these teams need it. And I think the Cowboys need it more than the Eagles. And I'm going to go with the Cowboys for the upset. And I usually pick the Eagles. I usually ride with them more. And I almost like them more than the Cowboys. I'm not a fan of either, obviously, but I think I'm going to go with them boys.
Well, that's good because that'll give me another win up on you in that win loss ratio. So, yeah, we'll do that. And that's the Sunday night game, y'all. 7:20 prime time. So make sure you're available.
Oof.
Um,
I'm glad they made that
we
prime
have
time.
a we have a double header Monday night. One of the few times the NFL does it. First game, well, not even first game, but the other game that's on because it's really they're both terrible games, honestly. You got the Tennessee Titans versus the Miami Dolphins. And since because I like to play spoiler upset alert, I'm going with the Titans to win this game
What?
over the Dolphins.
Oh, there goes my win
Because
back.
they need another L to to get pegged back down, bring them back down a notch or two, um, tighten up.
Tyreek Hill plus 100. Oh, the Dolphins win by 22 points. This is a blowout. What do we? You just refused. Look, you picked the Dolphins last week. They won for you, and you won't even do it again this week. Look, Fins for the win. You know how you know how we rock over here in Mr. KC territory. We're going Fins for the
So
win.
the
Like,
Dolphins don't
man, yeah, they're gonna blow this. They're gonna blow this team out. This is a
they're
lopsided
gonna
game.
blow the wind is what's gonna happen.
Mm. I'm
Upset,
gonna.
and I've nailed the last few upsets. Upset alert! Somebody hit the buzzer. This is it. All the juju. Titans over fans.
Yeah, talk about upset alert. Brr, brr, brr. Take this man to the psych ward. What are we talking about it's got to be a 2-score underdog. Like, it's just, oof.
More importantly, the Dolphins get another L. So
Mm.
the Chiefs can be number one. We need that L. Thank you for that L. Good job, Tennessee. Tennessee. Shout out to my boy Young Buck. Uh, anyway,
Mm.
next game and the last game we got the resurgent Green Bay Packers led by the quarterback slayer Jordan Love versus Vanilla Vic and the New York Giants. And I'm going with Green Bay, the pack. You gotta ride with the pack. How could you not
Is
ride with
Jones
the pack?
back? Is Vanilla Vic back? I,
I think this is the week he's coming back. Hold on, let me
I,
look.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought he was out for the season. I didn't know he was coming back.
No, I thought it was only. Oh, but I might have missed that update. I haven't been as in tune with him.
You might be right. I could be wrong. I'm very out of tune on Daniel Jones. I haven't heard anything about him in a while, personally. So that's why I was. If Daniel Jones back, it might change my little opinion here. Like I really in my heart want to pick the Giants so I can hate on the Packers all I can. But without Daniel Jones, I'm just not willing to take the leap. I have no faith. Like it's
Well,
just.
all I would say is, man, you need to go ahead and pick the pack.
Well, I'm going to put an asterisk by it. I'm going to pick the Packers, even though I don't want to. However, if the Vanilla Vic is back in action, Sir Daniel Jones, I will be going New York Giants. However, if right now I've got to not deny the Packers any more than I've already done this season. A little better pick into my the wins would look slightly better if I was a little nicer on old Jordan Love.
Oh, you're right. He is out. Okay. See, I didn't know it
Easy
was
out
actually
out.
torn. I thought he had a sprained ACL. It was torn. That's my fault as a journalist. I should have been more on top of that. He's actually torn. I thought it was sprained. So yeah, he's done. So there's that. So let's
Yep.
go
So
pack.
Packers. Yep. Go Pack. Go Cheese
Yeah.
Heads or whatever.
Feel
What am
good,
I?
don't it?
No, it feels funky, bro. It really is. It's got a very like a. You ever had
Like you
like a
need
spoiled
seconds.
beer, like a beer that's been out too long or something? Like,
Oh, flat. Ooh.
yeah, you picked up the wrong beer. Like you messed up and you thought it was the one from yesterday, but
But that
it's
wasn't the one
not.
you needed.
It is not.
It's gonna be all right though. It's gonna be a great weekend picks. It's good to hit the double factor on these Packers. Virtual high five through the screen for my boy Mr. Casey, for acknowledging my boy Jordan Love. It's
Uh,
just good to see young
uh,
quarterbacks thrive. I love it, man. I love to see it. Um, yeah, dude, it's going to be a great week in football. You got anything you want to add on, Mister KC, before we wrap up Week 14?
yeah, I think we really want to shout out to all these people tuning in, like our boy Mr. Fish. Shouting out KC, showing that Chiefs love. We always like to see it, and I like to give a shout out to all the Rumble folks that have
My
been showing
Rumble
us a
fam.
bunch of support. Like, look, if I know we broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube, so multiple places. You can find us all over the place, Facebook, YouTube. We're a very broad branch, but man, that Rumble love has been like no other love, if we're going to be honest.
It really is. It's off the chain. We appreciate y'all on the Rumble site, man. Y'all rumbling with us, man. We throwing the punches, y'all throwing them back. We rocking and rolling, and we making this thing happen, man. And we branching out more content coming, more shows coming. We appreciate everything you're doing. YouTube, come on, man. We need more love. We need more love. YouTube, we need more love. A little bit more. A little bit more. Come on.
Right, absolutely. And please notice that we do put out other content. You can find it. If you're streaming on Rumble, you're going to see something right after this. We don't stop on Rumble. On Facebook and YouTube, we hop off. On Rumble, we keep things going. It stays rolling. We don't cut off the cameras. We open up a little bit. So if you want to see some,
ESPN, who we
yeah,
bold predictions, SPN. If you want to be petty about it, this thing
yeah.
is rolling. You
And we
wake
don't
up 3
use,
o'clock, you need content. Boom, it's running on Rumble.
yes, sir. And you don't have any AI generated content like you've seen with Sports Illustrated, which had to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It really made me proud that we are small independent creators because it gives you an alternative source where you know that look, we're not professional football players, but we do great at doing our picks. And it's not going to be, this isn't some computer generated take that they're going to spoon feed you that doesn't make any sense when you actually read it. So I thought it was dumb that they used an AI journalist, and even dumber that they didn't use a proper editor to even just read that what he said would make sense. Like, this is just a shame and shows you how terrible the mainstream media has become.
When facts are facts, sometimes you just got to say amen.
Mm,
Amen.
mm.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, because like I said, that's why we always say, man, we giving it to you straight up from the rooter to the tutor, unadulterated, ain't stepped on, ain't watered down. This is just what it is, man. This is why we're thriving. This is why the fans keep coming back. This is why this is why we keep coming back.
yeah. And we want to know. Look, we have another Bold Drunk episode coming up here shortly. But we want to know. We're really kind of tossing around the ideal of doing a call in show. Would you be down? All y'all folks wanting the call in show. Please, we just need a few comments saying, hey, do the call in show.
Yeah.
We want to be able to have our take easily on air, share it with you guys live with Rumble,
Mhm.
with YouTube, with Facebook, maybe just Rumble. This might be just a
And, you,
Rumble thing.
and you need to have a drink in your hand. Let us know what you're drinking while we're sitting there sipping and talking. Let's
Uh,
talk
we,
about it.
and we want to know what whiskey should be next. We've only had one recommendation so far, and that is Bullet Rye. And it sounds tempting. We might, it might be a possibility. It might be what happens. We don't get
Right.
any more recommendations. We have no other votes to really
Right.
choose from. So
Right.
shout out to our Rumble support cast that gave us the suggestion.
Right, like I said, especially man, the presence and everything. Y'all done picked it up, y'all done elevated this thing, and we're gonna keep rocking with y'all. We're gonna keep rocking with y'all here on YouTube and Facebook and every outlet we can get until ESPN is under the dirt. Because we're gonna bring you the truth, the raw, the nitty, and the gritty. And we got more content coming, especially on the wrestling. I know y'all been waiting for it, and it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. The format's here, we're getting everything figured out. It's coming soon. And it's
Yes,
going to.
folks. Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate y'all coming out this week and tune into the next program.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks, scallywags, shackards, and people sleeping under the bridge. Have a good night.